Hi, welcome to Podiatry Practice Mastery. Don here. Today I'm going to talk a little bit about, as you can see if you've been following me for a while, I kind of go in spurts. This is my new spurt. I'm interested in sharing a few things that have been really helping. The latest thing is, what's my number one hack for using and being less addicted to the cell phone? Now we've all probably have a struggle with using our phones too much, and that distracts us. I don't know about you, but I do not leave my phone with me when I'm seeing patients, so that's most of the day. I'm not without a phone, or I'm without a phone, so it's pretty easy. But still, on the weekends, I remember when I had younger children. There was one time when my little boy, he came up to me, and I was looking at the phone, and then he put his head right between my arms and my phone, and he wanted my attention. He was looking at me in my eye, and I realized, well, I might be using my phone a little bit too much, and I consider myself pretty disciplined in terms of phone. I don't have any. So I'll get to my number one tip at the end. This is a kind of a brand new one that I've been doing, but I'm going to go through some of the basics. So the basics that work for me is first of all I turn off all notifications. So everything that you can put on your phone, you can also turn off the notification. I have no notifications on my phone. The only notification I guess that would pop up would be if I have a voicemail. So it would leave me, I would see that little, I don't know, those two little circles that tell you have a voicemail. I do not have it for phone calls. I don't have it for text messages. I don't have it for some of these apps I use. One of the apps I use a lot is called WhatsApp, where there's little groups where we can communicate. I turn off everything so I'm not distracted. For emails, I don't have any notifications on there. Then how do I use it? I don't use my cell phone for my work email. I have a work email. I only check it with my work computer. The way I figure it is, if it's really urgent, someone will call me or they'll text me. If for example, my staff, I'm not on it all the time, or I've instructed them. I've taught them how to communicate with me. It's with text message or a phone call. Same thing with our on call. When we're on call, the patients, it goes to our cell phones, and then we can do that. The other thing that works for me is I get rid of all the apps that I don't use, and I don't have any like social media apps. I don't use social media to begin with, just because I don't have enough time to invest in it. So I get rid of all those. I don't have LinkedIn. I don't have anything on my phone. These things that just kind of clutter. Other thing that's kind of helped, my face screen is a picture of just a background. So my first image when I turn on my phone is a background, and there's no apps on it. So there's no apps on the front screen, and there's just my phone app, so I can use it as a phone. You have to scroll to the second screen to get what's on my phone, or what are and then there's nothing. The only thing on the second screen is I put an app called Audible, where I listen to my books, and then there's another app where I can send short little messages to myself. So basically, when I'm somewhere, I might want to remember an idea, and so that's how I usually use it. So I click that button, it records a little message, and it transcribes it and sends it to my inbox so I can deal with it another time. I'm a big advocate of, I want to capture ideas, for example, on the weekends, but I don't want to be working on my business. So I capture an idea, and I can look at it, and it transcribes it and sends it to my email. In my email, then, I have a special folder where it automatically goes into that folder, so then when I want to, I can look at that. So that's been really helpful. And then after that first screen, which just has those two apps, then I have another screen with a few others. For example, Gmail Compose and Outlook Compose. So once again, the reason I like the Compose, let me explain the difference. It doesn't open up my whole Gmail or my whole Outlook. My Outlook is for business. Once again, I only have a Compose button because we kind of only do business email through that. So I just have a Compose and a Gmail Compose. The benefit for that is when you hit the Compose button, it doesn't open up all your emails. Because what happens to me, I don't know if this happens to you, but when I open up my email, I see all of these emails that I'm interested at looking at, but I don't have the time to deal with it. Dan Sullivan, who I get coached with in Strategic Coach, he talks about this being the open drawer syndrome. It's kind of like when you have an open drawer and you're kind of pushed to close it. And so you have all these open drawers, you see all these emails, you want to take action on them, but you don't have time to take action. Very commonly also on the weekend, I think of an idea that I want to take action on, but I don't have time to do it, so that causes frustration inside of me. That's where I have this app where I can just kind of record a short little message. I'll put a link underneath this for that app if you want to learn about it. So those are the main things that kind of give me sanity, and also when I use it, I only use my cell phone at lunchtime at work. So I have like a designated time of 10 or 15 minutes where I look at the phone, I answer anything, and I just pretty much instruct everyone if they want to get in contact with me. That's the time that I'll get back to them. People that are outside the clinic. Everything else is done within the clinic, within our medical record. Okay, now to my number one tip for using a cell phone. You might not like this, okay? I was a little resistant in the beginning, but the tip is this. I always leave my cell phone in black and white mode, meaning I turn off all the color from my cell phone. Now, it makes it a little bit hard when I'm using maps. Occasionally, I'll turn it on when I'm using maps, but I always have it in black and white mode, and you can do that on your phone. It's not the night mode. It's similar to the night mode, but there's a black and white mode. I have a Samsung, and it has it, and my when I used to have an Apple phone, it has that as well. I would recommend you trying that, leaving it. The reason is, even my kids say this, if they're looking at my phone, gosh, that's boring. It's boring to watch a YouTube video in black and white. It's boring to look at anything in black and white. It doesn't create as much addiction to it. So I put everything always on black and white, just so I'm not gonna use it as much. And then any of the apps, like I said, that I don't want to look at more, I'll delete those from the phone. So that's my number one app. Hope you guys like this. Let me know what works for you. If you have any other good cell phone tips that work for you to be more efficient, or things that you've learned, I'll be happy to share that with the group. Send me a message, Don at podiatrypracticemastery.com. And until next time, thanks.